Good morning. I don't know who's going to watch this, so I'm just going to start out with my amazing weekend. You will not believe what I've been through. Ordinarily, people pretty much can tell you exactly what they're going to do every single day. Not me. I couldn't even tell you what I'm going to do today. I can tell you what I want to do, but what happens is totally different. God has a funny way of detouring you from what you think, what you want, and what you believe in to what He wants you to do, honey. Let me tell you, I started my day out Friday thinking, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. My husband fell Thursday and he hurt his back pretty bad. And so he went to the doctor Friday morning. They put him off work for a few days. And I just got to say this. God is so amazing. He is so amazing. And that he healed my husband. Yes, he did. It's funny how it happened. God has a sense of humor. But he healed him right when he asked him to. Not, oh, well, come back tomorrow and you'll be okay. Come back next week and we'll try it again. When Tim said, Lord, please take this pain from me, next thing I know, the man stretched, and when he did, honey, it sounded like shotguns going off, one after another, and just went, bop, 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 bop. I never heard nothing like that. He turned white as a ghost. And it was just so amazing. It was so amazing. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Friday, he's off work. So we've been just trying to find a place to live and just, doing the basic day by day things. And so we were able to get out and try to get a few things done. So we ended up, helping my son locate some stuff for him. And while we were there, my husband looks at him and he's like, well, he said, let's give this boat away. He said, because we don't need it. So my son was like, okay, let's give it away. He said, but Dad, don't you want one? Tim said, yeah, I do. He said, but this one just ain't going to work for us. So they gave the boat away. And they literally gave it away. They put it on Facebook and gave away free. The dude came and got it that day. It was such a blessing because that was a burden that we didn't need. I say that and laugh. It's because my husband turned right around and someone gave him a boat. And for the woman, I'm like, what? Wait a minute. What just happened? So he gave away the big boat, which we thought was a really big boat. No, it's not. It was a Bayliner that we gave away. And then he got something that was bigger than that. Oh, Lord have mercy. Ain't God amazing? He's just so amazing. He gave him exactly what he wanted. Gave him the exact thing he wanted. Something he could fix up. Just him and his kids. And it was such a blessing. It was funny. You just had to be in my head and see what was happening to understand what just happened. So we go through Friday. We get through it safely. So Saturday comes. My husband starts praying that his back's hurting. He's praying. He's like, God, just give me strength to get through today. Just give me the strength to get through today. God gave him the strength to get through the day. So we ended up going and looking for a place to live. Well, of course, we ran across the scammers and had to deal with all that. Then we literally went to Ohio looking for a place to live. And my son, you know, never asked for gas money. He never asked for anything. And he just took us and drove all the way from one side of Ohio all the way up to another, looking for places to live. And, you know, I sat there and I thought, you know, he's doing this. He could be doing anything else, but he chose to be with us to help us. And that was so amazing. And it's such a blessing. I am so honored to have a son like that don't think about himself and that he cares more about other people than he does himself. He takes better care of his family and the people who loves him and the people he loves. He's a wonderful, yes, I'm blowing my son's horn. Woo, woo, he's amazing. I love him. He's my baby. Okay, now that I've embarrassed him, I'll go on to the rest of the story. So, my daughter proceeds to call me and tell me that it's my grandson's birthday. So I look at my husband after I got off the phone with my daughter, and I asked him, is there any way possible we could, you know, go and kill two birds with one stone and go to my grandson's birthday? And I made sure to find out, and I asked her like 4 times, and make sure where it was at, because we was going to come in as a surprise. So, I'm like, okay, so we're going to leave about, 2 something and get down there and we'll be good. Well, it didn't work out that way. Later on Saturday night, I got a phone call. A dear friend of ours from Colorado was coming into Richmond. And she said she hasn't seen me in over a year. And she really wanted to see me, so she said, I better be at church. I'm like, 2 hours away, not a dime in my pocket. So I went to pray, and I was like, okay, God, if you want me to go, then you're going to help us. About that time, my husband looks at me and tells me to check my bank and see how much money was in there. There was enough money for gas. Y'all figured that I was broke, had no money. There was nothing in that bank. They ain't nothing. Nothing. I called it. They money in that bank. Okay. I know I didn't have no money, people. There was no money in that bank. None. None. Because I would have spent it. But sure enough, there was just enough money for gas to go to Richmond in. Okay. So I look at him, I'm like, okay, I got it. Can we go? He's like, yeah. So we go to Richmond. We ended up actually getting there early enough to go to church. I walked in church. It was such amazing to get to see everybody. I was so happy, I miss everybody. This was my home, and I uprooted. And so I was so happy to be able to see everybody. So I'm loving and crying and loving and crying. And here comes Rainy in. And then here comes Lane, which I have not seen. And I was so happy to see them. I was in tears. Of course, it made them cry. 3 very old women standing in the middle of a church crying. Ooh, scary thought. So, as we proceed to go throughout the evening, I asked Rainy and Millie if they wanted to go out to eat. Well, Millie's fasting, so she couldn't do it. And Rainy wouldn't do it because she's staying with Millie and she didn't want to go eat and Millie not eat, So I can understand. So I'm feeling kind of hurt because I missed them and I really wanted to do this. And the Lord gave me the money to do it, so I was really excited. Well, we was leaving the church, and about the time we hit the traffic light, I looked at Tim, and I'm like, well, maybe we should go check on our friends. Brian. And he's like, yeah. He got all excited. Men and their friends. So we went over to Brian to see Tim's friend. Well, we were over there. And boy, honey, there was a lot of stuff that happened. A lot. And while all this stuff, and I'll keep that part off of this, but throughout all this stuff that happened, I laughed. And I laughed. I laughed so hard, I think I cried. I might even peed a little. But thank God I wear a diaper. I don't have to worry about that. But the funny thing is that they were so concerned about how we felt about what happened that it hit me. It hit me. You know, God had literally moved all this stuff out of our life in order for us to be there, in order for us to see what was going on, in order for us to be able to connect and share and love and be a supportive of what was going on. And I think it's so funny. I mean, if you look across your life and all the stuff you've done, think about the things you didn't do. Think about the places you didn't go. But think about the reactions of the people that you were involved with, the people that were with you at that time in your life. What a change did you make to their life? How important was it that you went out of your way to go see one kid and not see the other? What change did it give that child? You know, God says that we're supposed to love everybody. And we're supposed to stand up and shout his name out in the crowd. People, honey, the most simplest little thing that I can see in my life every day is a blessing. Even the bad ones. The bad ones are the best. Those are the ones that you just want to pull your hair out. But you know, so many people knows about God, but nobody wants to admit to it. So many people knows that God has them, but they don't want to admit to it. So many people knows that God brought them to this earth, but nobody wants to admit it. But yet you know it. Honey, I'm getting a little loud here. If you got me on loud, you might want to cut me down because I think we'll get louder here. I'm so tired of hearing Christian people tell me, oh, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. You know, I heard someone last night say something. And, you know, I never thought about it much, never really did, until he pointed it out. And when he pointed it out, it suddenly kicks. You know, you got all these people telling you can't do nothing. Honey, if you stand me in the corner and told me 10 times that I couldn't walk out of that corner, I would be humbled and crippled in that corner because you told me I couldn't do it. Stop telling people they can't do it. You can do anything you want to do. I don't care who you are, where you at, what you are, who you doing, what you ain't doing, what color you are, what make, model, breed, creed. I don't care. As long as you have Jesus in your life, you can do what you want. You can change lives. Stop tearing your brothers and sisters down. Stop making mockery of the churches. Get up off that bench. Get out on the streets. Start doing something that's changing people's lives. You know, the simplest thing. I may not be all smart and book smart and have all this technology and all this other stuff, but I have one thing, and that is Jesus. And let me tell you, God did not intend for you to sit on your butt in that church house and never leave out of it. You don't want to be a street ministry? Fine. Sit on your butt. Keep making your house look pretty. Dress in good clothes. Do all that. Who you impressing? Nobody. Nobody cares what you look like. And if they do, they ain't a God. Honey, because let me tell you, God did not say you have to wear this. Find me in the Bible where it says that a woman has to wear a dress. It says you have to dress modesty. You know what modesty is? It's this. Okay? It's not this. I'm so tired of people telling me that you can't do this. Well, honey, I ain't found it in the Bible that says I can't do it. Honey, they tell you can't get saved if you're gay. Well, honey, I was a lesbian, and I'm a God-fearing wife of a mother of children, and I've done it. So don't tell me that you cannot get saved and be a lesbian. Oh, boy, honey, thank you, Jesus. Woo! I just, praise the Lord. Thank God I'm in a house because I think somebody done called police on me. I'm so loud. I'm just so sick and tired sitting back and being quiet. So I'm just telling you now. Happy to the whirlwind, baby. Suck it up, buttercup, because the ride's going to get rough. From here on out, I'm going to tell you what I think, how I feel, and that's it. If you want to keep following me, you keep liking my videos, or you keep even talking to me after I do all this, then kudos to you. But you have to be a unique individual, because I am one wild child. I looked around last night at church, and I see new faces and old faces. And my dear friend, Jeff, made a comment that church is not his church. It's not a church where you come and you sit and you get comfortable and you just have that same old job, that same old thing. That's not it. He said he is a platform. He is a platform where people comes and bounce out and goes out into the world. God didn't sit still. He didn't stay in one place. He was out moving. He was going from one city to another city, sharing the love of God. What are you doing? When was the last time you got out and shared the love of God? Donate something. Yay! Kudos! You did that. That is a blessing. Especially considering I run outreach and I really enjoy that. But it's okay if you felt like giving something away is going to hurt you, don't do it. Because you're not doing it for the right reason. To give to other people, you have to have the heart for it. And in order to have the heart, you have to have the love of Jesus. Because if you're doing it for any other reason, then you're not doing it for God. Well, I'm going to go. I can't see the camera. Oh, look, we're almost at 20 minutes. This is the longest video I've done yet. May God bless you and have a wonderful day. Till next time.